My wife and I actually got married in my uncle's backyard in Silver Spring, and he's the one that fell victim to QAnon.
What sort of emotions run through you when you see that smile on my face?
It's sad. It is. I miss him a lot. Oh, I didn't expect to get so emotional.
When did you become this cold?
17 years after they met, Amber Winters sits at home in Maryland and wonders what turned her lifelong best friend into a person she barely knew. We've opted not to identify him. She says the change started in 2017, shortly after the election of Donald Trump.
But then after Trump got elected, things started getting different. He got more argumentative, he got more personal when I didn't agree with him and stuff like that. I distinctly remember having an argument about Obama being the Antichrist. Yeah, he told me that most of the people in power in the government are part of an elite pedophile ring. And then I looked up what QAnon was because I wasn't super familiar, and like some of their beliefs and some of the things that he had been saying to me aligned with the Q beliefs, and that's where it all kind of clicked with me.
It's those QAnon catchphrases that people say.
This woman, who asked not to be identified because her family still lives in the area, said growing up in Northern Virginia, her father stressed the importance of all political viewpoints. Then she says he started following QAnon and pushing its conspiracy theories.
My mom initially thought that my dad was developing Alzheimer's. That's how out of character this behavior was.
You're looking at your father saying these things and you're like, I don't even know what I'm seeing and hearing.
100%. It's trying to explain to somebody that I don't think that the Clintons are running a child sex ring. Like I don't know how to prove that. The dad that I grew up with was not that person. I don't know who that was.
She is not alone in feeling lost. On Reddit, a subreddit called QAnon Casualties has more than 155,000 members nationwide and is growing every day.
I think the people who were drawn into QAnon were suffering in some capacity, and I think with the pandemic, many people have been suffering.
Mia Bloom is co-author of the book Pastels and Pedophiles: Inside the Mind of QAnon.
So in many ways, for the people we want to try to get out and back into the light, we have to have great empathy.
Bloom says don't ostracize family members who believe in QAnon. Hear them out, then gently point out inconsistencies in QAnon beliefs. Like Q predictions, a lot of high-profile figures were going to be arrested for child abuse during President Biden's inauguration, or that Donald Trump would magically become president again on March 4th. All of which, of course, did not come true.
But I think the idea is that we don't want people feeling completely isolated, that they've abandoned, their families have abandoned them, and the only thing they have left in their life is Q.
In fact, part of the reason this woman did not want to be identified is because she hasn't given up on her dad and bringing him back into the family fold, even though she says her brothers have already written him off.
And a lot of people are going through this separation process with their loved ones. And that's really crummy.
Amber Winters says there is no hope of reconciliation with her former best friend after he ended their lifelong relationship with a text message.
I can't stand what you helped to do to this country. It's destroyed now, and I blame you for your part in it.
He said he never wanted to speak to her again.
Do you still worry about him?
Yeah. I don't think that'll change.